It is another week. It is another weekend to get acquainted with the news from the week. And just in case you missed out on Undaunted this week, this is another opportunity to stay informed. And I am Star Smart.
This week, it was an eventful one. It was filled with lots of reports. The peak of this week's report was hosting the President of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, Dr. Ikome Sako. Now, he spoke on a lot of things, but one striking statement we must hold on to is the fact that we are ending the year extremely stronger than ever. We also looked at the importance of the flag. Just in case you're losing focus, we gave the importance of the flag in this week's report. I am Oyin Obala. Let's get the recap proper right after the break.
The media greatly in society, people about what's happening, permeates lives by creating their own criteria and opinions. In this way, the media moves the masses, creating different social movements.
For over 60 years, the people of Ambazonia were deprived of such privileges. The privilege to enhance their own criteria and opinion. They have suffered cultural genocide for 6 long decades, but not in this age and not with Undaunted ABC Amber News on board.
You must understand that wars are fought and won in the media. The speed of the revolution on Ambazonia's quest for freedom cannot be explained without highlighting the diligent use of the media.
Franco-Cameroon colonizers, among other strategic moves, with the media against Amazonia so long, and they continue to do so even today. The question would be, how much do the oppressed people of Ambazonia need to counter the media rage?
Indeed, how much more is required to stop the genocide? The carnage in Ambazonia didn't start today. In 1961, 1972, 1984, 1992, Ambazonians were slaughtered in huge numbers and help was not forthcoming. Why? Because the was the piper in the media.
The good news is we have what it takes to dictate the pace.
Right now, ABC Amber TV is taking advantage of the wonders of multimedia aggressively
to inform the misinformed and disinformed with Undaunted and other revolutionary programs bringing it to the news untold stories.
Most importantly, to win the media war by taking ABC Amber TV into every multimedia platform.
In a word, where the importance of storytelling can never be overemphasized, Ambazonians has to tell her own story, not the other way round.
And like we say it always, Ambazonia must narrate her story accurately. We can do this together, you know, right? You are just a click away. Visit our website at www.abcambertv.com, and the steps are quite simple.
With just a click on the website, you can become a club member with so many benefits.
You can also make a one-time donation, advertise and showcase your goods and services at the marketplace on the website.
Easy, right? You're welcome on board.
And thank you for opting for the winning team.
All right, you're welcome back. And on Monday, November 28, 2022, we reported that at about 5 a.m. Amber time, the Buyi warriors, under the leadership of Major General Chokandu, carried out a deadly preemptive attack on La Republic du Cameroon terrorists stationed at the Colonial Brigade in Squares, Combo local government area. The Buyi warriors and the Ambazonia Restoration Forces have persistently mounted fierce attacks that have killed over 10 La Republic du Cameroon terrorists this past week alone. Now, their last week attack carried out on Friday, the 25th of November 2022 at the Kumbo Principal Prison and the court building killed 5 terrorists on the spot. A helicopter backup was called to medically evacuate their critically wounded to the hospital.
Yeah, moving on with another story we had this week. The CPDM traditional ruler of Bambalang, who doubles as president of the CPDM, so-called chiefs in the northern zone of Ambazonia, Fon Yakum Kevin Twevi Shumitang II, Now under captivity for close to a year, to the La Republic du Cameroon colonial authorities in Yaoundé to set No Pity's family free for him to regain his freedom. He issued this SOS in a brief video dated Sunday, November 13th, 2022. Here's the video.
2020. I be from Kevin Shomitang II, fond of Bambala. I come out this day for cry because I dey for here for No Pity hand, and he don't talk say if they no leave the family members where they be don't catch and go with them, ye no go leave me for here. So he don't talk say if they leave the family members them today, he go also leave me for here. So I dey use this medium for cry and for plead on the powers that be. Say may they facilitate the release, the release of the family members, so that me too I feel be freed from here. I thank you very much.
Now on Sunday, November 27, 2022, was a dark one in the Mas Yaoundé neighborhood where a funeral celebration organized by some La Republic du Cameroon Bamile case from Bangete people Chonsa as a dancing stampede saw walls on slope falling apart, burying some of the victims alive. Now, there is consternation, there is mourning, weeping, and wailing as families, friends, and relatives remain in shock. Some of the corpses still being uncovered as at when we reported this. Now, also said, and usually would say we see landslide not only in southern Cameroon, but it seems it is also in La Republic du Cameroon.
Now, the Bamenda Ndop Road has been blocked, was blocked the whole day on Sunday, November 27th, 2022, at Bemising. And why? Well, according to reports, we brought to you that some black legs led Colonial La Republic du Cameroon military at the early hours of the day at about 5 a.m. to the hideout of General Fire of Ngoketumja. The invasion is gathered by Undaunted, led to the killing of two General Fire. He did not survive the surprise attack alongside one of his close aides. Now, there is a picture of people who had the situation.
All right, so last week we brought you a report of the emergence of ritualists. Now, we also realized that everyone is trying to be careful this period, and we advise that as well, that everyone should be careful because the quest for fast cash is fast pushing people to get connected in a daily basis to, secret societies for very flimsy purposes. Now, Undaunted, a woman has got mad at the Nkwe market in Bamenda, local area. Now, the 25th at around 3 p.m., eyewitness narrates that she dropped a 500 francs CFA banknote and was asked to pick it back, but she refused. Now, after several failed attempts to get her pick back the money, the population engaged in a warfare prayers as others were inspired and decided to throw salt at her and the money. To the surprise of all, she immediately ran mad after the act.
Well, this week also we brought to you the audio Amazonians woke up to from the dismissed former Secretary of State for Communications and IT, Chief Coup plotter Chris Ano, who now calls himself president, denouncing the flag of the nation. He is supposedly leading, and yet he does this. Well, this has made Amazonians really vexed. It made Amazonians vexed, and why? Because a national flag is a flag that represents and symbolizes a given nation. It is flown by the government of that nation, but usually can also be flown by its citizens. And a national flag is typically designed with specific meanings for its colors and symbols, which may also be used separately from the flag as a symbol of the nation. The design of a national flag is something altered after the occurrence of important historical events. Now, having him do this denouncing the national flag was really scandalous, and we looked in depthly at this. The burning or destruction of a national flag is also considered a great.
All right. Also, the Colonial General Delegation for National Security has published a list of outstanding La République du Cameroon national identity cards at the two-bar identification post. Now, the published list shows that as the 22nd of November 2022, 1,241 national identity cards have been banned by their owners. Since their identification, the these documents have not come to check it out if it's available. Now, the oldest cards were produced in 2017. Cameroons are fading off with all that concerns La République du Cameroon. Now, their wish is for another identity card, not necessarily the one La République du Cameroon is giving out.
Well, also on Tuesday, we hosted the exclusive interview with the president on the 29th of November, and we focused on ending 2022 strong. The alleged indictment of three of our comrades also for criminal charges, and also we focused on the reasons as duty until total freedom.
All right. Also, we looked at La République du Cameroon terrorist military suffered another humiliating defeat in the hands of the Ambazonia restoration fighters of Bui County on Tuesday, November 29, 2022. Now, La République du Cameroon terrorists attacked the Bui warrior station at Kikaikum from two fronts. The Bui warriors, under the leadership of Major General Tok Andu, have been engaging the La République du Cameroon terrorist forces in an all-day gun battle that started at 8 a.m. Amber time. Those terrorist elements that invaded Kikaikom came from Tadu and Bantam, respectively. More than 10 La République du Cameroon terrorists are believed to have been killed, and many with gunshot wounds from the Bui warriors during today's battles.
And also this week, we looked at J.N. Fonche's discussion on a lot of issues that can explain why the idea of federalism is not of interest to the southern Cameroon's Ambazonia. A confidential source and a very reliable one has told Undaunted that the next meeting of so-called Anglophone activists with La Republic Venus like a to the two CNDs scheduled for December 13th. This is also a report we brought to you, and it's gonna be it's scheduled for December 13th, 2022 at the same venue as the previous one. And this is to the interim government. It's just another safari trip to wine and dine and line pockets. It's a mere delay tactics. And we had the attendees defend their presence in such an unscrupulous gathering.
All right, we also reported that the Guardian Post of November of the Guardian Post newspaper of Wednesday 30th has on its front page and as a lead story headline says armed conflict in Northwest and Southwest. All right, and also we talked about some unruly fellows, how they are taking advantage of the ongoing Amazonian liberation war to make selfish gains. Group of guys go around armed, claiming to be amber fighters and collecting money from businessmen and women. Now, they do not only squeeze money by threatening their victims, they equally orchestrate and carry out kidnappings for ransom.
And also this week, amongst other interesting stories, we brought to you a few more, but we'll get to that just after this very quick break.
We the people, ABC Amber TV, Ambazonia Broadcasting Corporation. The voice of the voiceless, the voice of Ambazonia, connecting the world from Africa. With untold stories, Africa's best.
You're welcome back from the very quick break. While in the struggle, while we have a lot of people try to push the struggle to its destination, this week we reported of two imposters that have been making life a living hell for the inhabitants of the Ngomgam neighborhood in Bamenda 2 local government area. They were caught by the Bamenda Amazonian Brigade on November 24th and exposed to the world as thieves and not fighters. They were not killed, but had a finger each chopped off to reveal them as imposters to any other person whom they tried to harass in the name of being Amazonian Restoration Forces.
Right, also this week, we told you that the city mayor of Bamenda Town, Paul Achambong, told the people of Bamenda that the money for the tarring of the roads in Bamenda are available. But months after that declaration, nothing has been done to tar the roads except for filling the potholes that have made it worse to breathe in safe air without a nose mask. Now, that's all for our recap for this week. Now, let's get you some fresh reports as of today, but that's right after the break.
We the people, ABC Amber TV, Ambazonia Broadcasting Corporation. The voice of the voiceless, the voice of Ambazonia, connecting the world from Africa with untold stories, Africa's best.
All right, and for the fresh reports this week, after 60 years of false promises, further promises from La Republic to Cameroon to Ambazonians today are mere distractions. Now, are the high points. How can La Republic to Cameroon, a country on life support, promise to build roads in Ambazonia in 2023? What she could not do over 60 years ago when her economy was vibrant. The second high point for today, La Republic to Cameroon making Ambazonians prior 2023 as far as road construction is concerned is another bait which any bona fide Ambazonia must not fall for.
Indeed, bona fide Ambazonians shouldn't fall for this. Defending the ministerial allocation at the La Republique du Cameroon Colonial National Assembly on November 30th, 2022, the Colonial Public Works ministers, like his predecessors, promised again that road construction in Ambazonia is a priority in 2023. Well, this is another promise made on thin air because roads in Ambazonia can never be a priority to La Republique du Cameroon because right now they are very financially incapacitated at the moment and are unable to build their own roads, not to talk of Ambazonians' roads.
All right, on the front lens, La Republique du Cameroon colonial government framed this new lie, saying part of the 528.6 billion franc CFA budget destined to the Ministry of Public Works will be used for the reconstruction of their crisis-hit regions, including the 280-kilometer ring road. Not being ashamed to call the ring road Ahijo's promise over 60 years without realizing and Paul Biya himself pledged to supervise 40 years ago, but forgot which has remained fallow all these 60 years. Which magic wand, what miracle is La Republic du Cameroon counting upon? Now, the truth is, you cannot fool all the people all the time, especially this never again generation.
Actually, that said a lot of times, this is impractical, and the impractical declaration was made by Manuel this November 30th as that his ministry's budget for the 2023 financial year before the Finance and Budget Committee Colonial La Republique du Cameroon's National Assembly.
Now, the now full-fledged professor from Enclave Unwa local government area who seems not to be abreast with realities in La Republique du Cameroon has thanked Colonial La Republique du Cameroon head of state for making education free in the country, where the colonial government creates schools on paper and allows them at the mercy of poor parents to build and recruit teachers, which they contribute to pay a survival wage just for the teachers to make ends meet.
Well,
before Star, you come in, there is this video I would want us to see about the professor thanking Paul Biya. Let's see that video.
That by the grace of God we've attained the achievement of education, being the first full professor in our subdivision. It's a wonderful blessing. But this can only go a long way to express thanks to the head of state, President Paul Biya, His Excellency Paul Biya, for giving us the opportunity to go to school free. Education in Cameroon is absolutely free. for supporting us, giving us all the possibilities to change it and get to this level. And as the fund said, we continue to tell him he should live long, and the entire WhatsApp division, Donga Mantung as usual, we're behind him, and that we plead on him to stand as the next presidential election is coming and ventilate and venerate himself as always as a natural leader for Cameroon. Thank you very much.
Now you've seen that video for yourself, and that is the minister thanking Paul Biya for providing education. Well, in a country or system where PTA, Parents Teachers Association levies, run the school are sometimes geometric and unaffordable by all parents, today in the 21st century, La Republic du Cameroon still has school dropouts even at elementary level. Well, let this new professor know that in Rwanda, just coming out of a genocidal war, the government policies is a laptop per school pupil fulfilled.
But you see, that's not obtainable in La Republic de Cameroon schools, and it only exists only in names. No classroom, no benches, except offered by the PTAs, and that is done by extorting the poor parents. Now, in La Republic de Cameroon, the Paul Biya laptops for university students were scanned through China to impoverish students and internalize in power.
Well, this embarrassing self-styled pioneer professor from Unwa local government area, looking youthful, calls on an octogenarian, a dictator, a monarch, an over 90 years old man who is a very sad news to the people of his country and who has done nothing for over 40 years. Is calling him in power to run again for presidency, someone over 90 years old. Well, if this is not witchcraft, what can it be?
Well, while we are waiting for you to answer that, we must also emphasize here our exclusive discussion is not going to hold because there is a town hall meeting where the president of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, His Excellency Dr. Samuel Ikomisakal, is inviting everyone to an important town hall meeting, which is to begin in a few minutes' time. So the time is 8 p.m. Amber time, all right? And there will be to be discussed. We have the revolutionary updates by the president, briefing on the ongoing legal issues by the judicial team. There will be question and answers, and there will be a whole lot. So the town hall meeting starts by 8 p.m. Amber time. And so if you are watching us now, please, you might just want to follow the link that will be given to you for the town hall meeting. And fellow Amazonians, this is where we'll draw the curtains for, today's Undaunted weekly briefing. Remember to join us on Monday for Undaunted news, where we have lots and lots of reports just for your listening and watching pleasures. I am Onyi Opala.
And I am Star Smarth. We leave you with ABC and the TV images. Good night and God bless you.